Well, we are talking all about the Alberta Bowhunters Association today. You know, it's an association that's been around since the mid 1950s, and some might say my next guest has been the president of the ABA for that period of time. But Brent Watson, I think it's more like what, 15 years that you've been the long-suffering leader of this group?
Yeah, it'd be my 16th year.
That's pretty remarkable. Well, we certainly appreciate you taking some time. I guess with the temperatures right now, you'd rather be doing this than walking out in the bush on a day like today.
Actually, I've been doing daily walks, about a 3-mile loop, and you bundle up and you prepare, and it's actually not that bad. And the sun's out, and we're near the end, so that's okay.
Well, there you go. Well, listen, there's lots going on with the ABA right now, and I guess like other associations, you folks are having a bit of a challenge in terms of raising some dollars. Normally, you have a big banquet that's well attended, but again, this is not happening this year.
Yeah, that's right. We canceled it back in mid-December just because of all the uncertainty, and yeah, it's a bit of a fundraiser, and it's also a get-together to share stories and see people you haven't seen all year, and so that social aspect is lacking. This year, we're going to try and do a very similar to AFGA with their awards presentation, do kind of a Zoom recording and then put it up on the website. And that'll kind of keep that connection with membership and recognize, the lucky bow hunters and the animals they harvest and that kind of thing. So we're doing that. And, we try to communicate with membership we've got a huge mass email list, and of course, Facebook and social media is a big tool that we use, and so yeah, we try to keep contact with membership and stuff as much as we can. And I think everybody's struggling with the challenges we face these days.
In terms of the, I guess the activity of bow hunting, as I said off the top, you've been around since I think 1956. How has the activity evolved over that time, Brent?
Well, I think changes in equipment probably is a big factor in that. When I started back in the day, there was no YouTube videos, there was no online access to information, and so the learning curve was a lot tougher. And now the archery shops are awesome ways to get into archery and bow hunting, and the level of knowledge and the equipment and everything. And I think coupled with that is, people want an extra challenge. That's what drew me to bow hunting. And so there's a challenge aspect, and then the opportunity to start your hunting season a little bit early in some places. And so you kind of get a benefit from that. Yeah, and the numbers have really shot up. In the last, I would say 20 years, we kind of keep tabs on the numbers, and it's been a steady increase for 20 years. Hunter numbers kind of dropped off, came back, but bow hunting numbers have gone up. And then this year they went up like by 15%. We're over 24,000 resident bow hunters, and then overall hunting license sales went up by 20-some%. So, we added another 27,000 hunters to the realm here last year. So yeah, there's definitely been changes and stuff, but yeah, there's been a steady progression. And kids, the NAS program has been huge in drawing kids into archery, and now they have a 3D component to their NAS nationals. And the kids just go to 3D. It's fun to shoot paper, but it's way more fun to shoot an actual target. And so we're going to try and partner up with NASP, and AHIA runs that program, and try and help them out, because it's just a natural fit for youngsters getting into archery and then shooting 3D targets to step into bow hunting.
So one of the roles that you and your team of volunteer board members deal with, I guess, literally every year, and that's going through regulations and ensuring that there's opportunities for bow hunters, and obviously there's the general rifle season. Talk a little bit about what's happening on that front.
Yeah, so we've about 11 years ago, the government came to stakeholders and wanted more consultation, more transparency, all those warm, fuzzy words. And they invited the stakeholders to meetings and with senior government staff. And that, I think, is probably one of the most valuable processes that we're involved in. And the other stakeholders agree. We get to sit down at a table with senior government staff and share information, share discussions about all kinds of things, and just open the doors to discussion and debate. And it's been really, really good. And out of that, it progresses and we bring forward proposals for change. You want to see an extended season of some sort. You want to see more tags available, all those kind of things that relate to hunting. And then our focus, of course, would be bow hunting issues, but we're also involved in other hunting issues, because if we don't have hunting, we're not going to have bow hunting. And so it's been an extremely valuable process. A couple of the things that we've worked on, and I tell people you got to be patient because this stuff doesn't happen overnight, and some of it's been in the works for for upwards of 5 to 7 years. But one of the big changes is that we're proposing is to create an archery season draw proposal. A lot of WMUs for some species, mule deer was a big one. When bow hunter harvest hits 15%, then for an extended period, usually it's a 3-year average sort of thing. And so then you need the draw in order to hunt the archery season. So we lose the archery season, the open general archery season. So we put together a proposal, and it went through all the AgPac processes, and we did some membership polls, I guess, and we had support through that. And the idea is that right now, if you get drawn for, I'll use mule deer as an example. If you get drawn for mule deer in some WMUs, that allows you to hunt the general season, so to speak, and the archery preseason. And we would like to see in those instances, and it applies to some WMUs for elk and for moose, that we take a portion of the tags available and put them into a draw for the archery season. So we'd have a split season. You put in for the archery season, or you put in for the general season. And that way we can kind of claw back some of the lost opportunity that we lost as bow hunters. And we've got a little bit of anecdotal information about in our rewards program. When these WMUs, there was 51 of them went on draw about 5 years ago, the number of mule deer entries just dived in our awards program because there was lost opportunity. And it's kind of come back, but not near to the extent. And that's a result of people traveling. So we can't hunt mule deer here. We're going to drive for 4 or 5 or 10 hours to somewhere where it's still an open archery season. So we'd like to kind of draw that back. We did a bunch of number comparisons from pre-draw to post-draw as to how it would impact the general hunter. Because if somebody wants more of the pie, somebody's going to lose some of their pie. So you have to be cognizant of that on both sides of the spectrum. So we did some number crunching and presented it to AgPac stakeholders and stuff that by doing this, we would increase bow hunting opportunity, get it not back to where it was when it was a general open season, but at least get some opportunity. And those people that put in for the general would still have the same draw percentage opportunity like a priority 9. You're not going to change by taking a few tags back as to what it was before the draws were implemented. So we did all that, and then of course, it goes through all the processes, and then we were set to debate it again, just to kind of go over things last April, and then it was going to go out for broader public consultation, and then COVID hit, and that pretty much put the brakes on a lot of our stakeholder initiatives. So So that's a big one. Another one that we have proposed, and it's getting discussion and stuff, is the draw weight reduction for bow hunting equipment. We did some number crunching again that back in the day, and nobody can really find out. I guess all the people in Fish and Wildlife that kind of were around at that time are out of the department. And but nobody can really find out when it all happened, that the 40-pound rule was brought in. And so we did some comparisons. We went back in the 50s, and the energies, and we got this from companies like PSE. So the energies of a 1950 bow compared to the energies, the same arrow weight and all that kind of stuff, that actually a bow of actually even just over 30 pounds of today's technology, using the same arrow, the same projectile, let's say, we got way more energy out of a current bow than we did at the standard back, in the 1950s when this kind of started. So we kind of put together a bunch of stuff that, reduce the draw weight to 35 pounds. There's lots of jurisdictions that have no minimum, and it's up to the hunter. Some have minimums for like the big stuff, elk and moose, but nothing for deer and that kind of thing. So that's one other proposal that we're kind of putting in. It would draw more people into bow hunting.
So I guess that's the point, right? You're looking at trying to bring in perhaps younger, maybe more, and please, this is not an insult, but maybe some more female hunters at a younger age that can handle that kind of a draw weight and that kind of thing.
And even for us old guys, so there's lots of upside to it. And we've presented that, had lots of good discussion, and that's kind of moving through the processes, and we'll kind of see where that goes. And we've got a few other ones that we're working on right now and stuff too. So, one thing we pride ourselves on, and it's been mentioned at different levels of meetings, is that when we bring a proposal forward from the ABA, it's well thought out, lots of supporting documentation, lots of facts, lots of research done, and we've done our homework. And I think that's one thing that we really try to stress to our members and our executive, for sure, we're all on board, is that when we make a proposal, that we know what we're talking about. It's not something written on the back of a napkin and we bring it to a meeting and throw it out and stuff. So, and I think the other stakeholders and senior government people that we're working with, they appreciate that.
Well, obviously, with 24,000 members, that brings an awful lot of credibility to the table, and a fairly significant stakeholder position that is worthy of listening to.
Yeah, like there's 24,000 bow hunters in Alberta, and our membership runs around, I would say the last 5-year average, 17 to 1,800. So in a broad spectrum, right across the province, we got members that are less than 2 years old. We got members that are, in their 90s. So a real broad spectrum of membership and hunter types. We got lots of ladies in bowling, in bow hunting and in hunting. They're the largest growing demographic, and it's no different than our membership as well.
Well, it sounds like there's lots brewing there, Brent, and would love another opportunity to sit down and get caught up with the work that you and your group are doing on behalf of all the bow hunters of Alberta, and to be honest, all hunters in Alberta, because like you said, that while there are some specific things for bow hunters, it's all of us that like to get out and enjoy a hunt in the fall. And you folks are certainly paving some interesting groundwork on that front. So thanks very much for your time today.
Yeah, no problem. Good talking to you again, Michael.